Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays a Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where we are doing alright here. We're gonna random. Something inside that you wanna say. Say it alright, we will play as Cain. It'll be alright. Okay, J17M3M2E. And, an early boss fight as well. I mean, the run that we lost, this is like my first recording session since the loss. But my demeanor is positive, dude. And the reason my demeanor is positive is because the loss, I'm not going to say it wasn't our fault. However, we did kind of get trapped between a rock and a hard place. It was a real James Franco-esque situation. And you know, we've been playing well since then, and random runs in the start of a streak is a beautiful time to be playing Isaac because, you know, you're carefree. You ever notice, like, careless and carefree have two different meanings? Like, wildly different. It's not like you're careful, careless, and then carefree. Despite the fact that they might seem... Okay, I don't know why I'm going down on this etymological road here. Gulp. Bit of a waste. But, you know, I've played enough Isaac in my day. Again, I'd never suggest that I'm like one of the absolute best players in the world. At this point, you know, I know where I stand. I'm probably in, you know, like the top 4% of Isaac players. If you took a random average class size, there's a good chance I could be the valedictorian of that particular class. Not graduating class, because I know, depending on what school you go to, graduating classes can get absurd. Our graduating class, like the school that Michael A. L. Fox and I went to, had like 80 graduating students. And our high school commencement ceremony, that is, still took like, you know, a couple of hours. So I don't know what happens if you go to a high school, you know, like Kate was like, oh yeah, there's like 500 people in my graduating class. Some people that we've talked to that go to school in like big cities or at least big school districts in the US, they'd be like, oh yeah, we have like 1,500 kids in our graduating class. Like, your high school has maybe 6,000 students? That's stupid. It's not stupid, it's just amazing, but it seems hilarious to me, like... Where Michael A. L. Fox and I went to school, it was not conceivable that you would not know everybody in the school. It wasn't like it was small town, like everybody walked around going like, oh, howdy ho, neighborino, you know, but, you know, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's X person, I know this about them. That's X person, I know this about them. What was it like if you go to a 1,500 person graduating class? You know, you got like 50 modules or 50 different periods of English. I don't even think our high school has taught 1,500 English classes in its entire existence. But anyway, 1,500 would be ridiculous. I mean 50. We've certainly taught more than 50, I would suggest. Anyway, let's head down to the next floor. Midas Touch. Great choice, great choice. Nothing wrong with this at all. In a way, I'm envious of that because, you know, I'm sure the larger your school, the more opportunities that are afforded to you simply by, you know, the size of it. Like, we didn't really have computer classes at our high school. I mean, this is also... You're gonna say, like, that's absurd, and you'd be right. It was also, like... I started high school 15 years ago, so... It's been... It's not like the internet was not a thing. It was very much a thing, but it just... You know, it wasn't like... Let me put it this way. We were, like, 7 years from the first iPhone. It wasn't like every 8-year-old on planet Earth had a YouTube account and was yelling at us in the comments like, hey, you know, you gotta explore everywhere in Dead Cells. Anyway, I've finally taken that advice and my life has improved. So let's not bite the hand that feeds there. Like, yeah, we didn't have AP or IB either, which is a common thing at more prestigious Canadian high schools. And American, of course, but... Anyway, you get the idea here. I'm not reminiscing about the old days. There's benefits to going to a small-town high school as well. You know, really got to know the student base and the faculty. Do I keep in touch with any of them? No, that'd be weird. I think I did what every, like, college student thinks about occasionally. I didn't do it, but I thought about it, which is like, yeah, man, on winter break from my first year of college, I'm gonna just go back and hang out at the high school and be like, check it out. I made it. And then I didn't do that because by the time the winter break rolled around, I was like, that would be sort of pathetic. And I'm glad I didn't. But anyway, this episode has gone off on a tangent early here. What's the game plan for us here? Well, we're Kane, and we're coming up to our first floor deal with the devil that's more or less guaranteed, given normal circumstances. So I'm very, very confident that we're going to come out of this one with a W. Something that would help out a lot is like Unicorn Stump. I think it's just a penny. Yeah. IV Bag would also help out. The reason for this, I hope, is fairly obvious. We have Midas Touch, so anything we can use to create invincibility, even temporarily, is going to stomp on enemies. We also got 41 cents early. Dull Razor would also work for us, so, you know, then we can use our money to pick up something that enables Midas Touch. I'd be happy, but I do think that Midas Touch, Deep Pockets is... Oh, we already had Polydactyl. This was unnecessary. I do think that maybe like the Midas Touch setup is a little overrated by myself. I used to think it was awesome, and honestly, my memory is... Oh, right, Midas Touch. I forgot about that. The Midas Touch X-Lax effect. But to be honest with you, I think it might have used to been good, and now is not as good for whatever reason. But, oh, you mean you gotta take Diplopia. I've had it on a couple of occasions, not like full occasions, but like, you know, Chariot Midas Touch. And then I'm running into enemies like, why aren't these enemies eating it? But I digress. Two of Clubs is not, in all likelihood, worth using right now. I would love to get Invincibility because, again, Invincibility also gives us essentially infinite money. Infinite money, you know, with absolute power, or that's not the way that Uncle Ben said that. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay, so we will take Mom's Knife, and we will take Guppy's Head, and we will take the ability to fly, and we'll take Guppy's Collar, and there's actually not much reason to take anything else here, to the best of my knowledge. What's hilarious about this is we've just won this run. We're gonna do so in, like, unbelievable fashion. Like, it's a really funny way to make this happen is what I'm getting at. We can gulp that. Could have waited for another trinket, but who cares? And beyond that, well, we should have gone to the Curse Room, but beyond that, we still have to deal with the Angel Precedent, which is the most hilarious part of all. So this, oh, well, that's probably the best Diplopia I've ever had. And I mean, I've used Diplopia on a number of different circumstances, but sincerely, to get, let's be cool here. To get Mom's Knife, 2 Guppy items, and the ability to fly out of it is pretty ridiculous. Shoop to Whoop is tempting. I don't know, probably, I feel like critical consensus from the audience about Shoop to Whoop and about Guppy's Head are like the same. They show up very frequently. They're both very, very strong. I feel like, you know, you might have your reasons one is better than the other, and in some situations, you know, one will be better than the other, and vice versa, but, oh, that damage, dude. In our present situation, we really are just, like, loving it. So, what would I recommend to myself here? Play slower. You've taken a lot of damage. Like, there is a chance you lose this because you're on 2 HP. You shouldn't, but there is a chance. All you really need to do is live long enough to get 1 more Spirit Heart, and I know this is not how this floor has turned out for us so far, but 1 Spirit Heart should give you a lot of survivability with a run in which you can fly and kill basically everything instantly. So, try not to throw your run away here, because you really did get the rarest of rare situations, that is. You got a 4-prong deal with the devil. That's so good. You got a 4-prong deal with the devil when you also had a Diplopia to make the best possible use of it. So, it's pretty great. So we can pay for Cambion Conception, and I think we will. Does concern me a little bit, for reasons that I'm assuming are probably relatively obvious, and that's that, you know, 2 hits could kill me right now. But I like Cambion Conception, and, like, let's just be 100% honest here. We should win this run. And if we lose this run, we deserve it at this point. So, to play conservatively, because, like, oh, you know, we have Mom's Knife, we're probably going to become Guppy, but I'm a little scared about our HP, is, outside of a daily, or outside of, like, you know, the 100th win on a streak, is a little silly. we gotta lay all our cards out on the table here. So, ooh, that could have hurt, and then I would have been singing a different tune potentially. We do have Curved Horn, and honestly, we still have Kane's base damage. It's great with Mom's Knife, but the more the merrier as far as damage goes, especially when it comes to bosses that are unlikely to die in a single hit. So, secret room. Could provide us with money, but I don't really see the purpose of trying to get some extra money out of that right now. Let's see what we can get from our shop. Blank card, 2 of clubs, of course, has some interesting potentiality here. Now I'll use a bomb, because money's an interesting situation. What's this card? 2 of clubs. Okay, so now I think you buy a blank card, and you go blank card, 2 of clubs. You blow this up. Then you go 2 of clubs, and you go 2 of... That took us to 20 bombs. That's not that good, man. That was a lot of money wasted to get you to 20 bombs. Was there a Spirit Heart for sale? Go back and buy the Spirit Heart. You owe me one, Brain. That was a bad play. We could still go blank card, and blank card is fun. We could have gone with blank card in general, to be honest with you. 6.20 damage. That's substantial upgrade, not a doubt about it. Sack of Sacks is great as well. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we whiffed, but it's not like we're feeling the burn too much from having Guppy's Head here. And Guppy's Head, it's got its own, you know, assortment of usefulness that we can be happy about regardless. So, this is really the kind of steamroll that I've been looking for a while now. We've had some easy runs. I mean, we had an Azazel run recently. That's about as easy as it gets in principle, at least. What do we get? We get Ace of Spades. I'll just go ahead and call a spade, but the Ace of Spades is not particularly strong. And Pageant Boy's kind of interesting. There we go. I'm actually gonna Ace of Spades it. I want to be able to create an arcade on the next floor because well, wait a minute. Next floor is Necropolis 1. Still. The IV bag is still desirable for us. Like, Guppy's Head is great, of course, but the IV bag is a huge get for us because we can use Midas Touch with it productively. I'll just tell you straight up, though. You have already seen what is likely to be the most memorable part of this run. That deal with the devil is... deal with the devil Diplopia, of course. It's not really like a once-a-lifetime thing. But it's the sort of thing where I could make a thumbnail that's like, oh my god, the greatest deal with the devil ever, and it wouldn't seem misleading. Like, there would still be some like, oh my god, why are you using clickbait sort of stuff in the comments, but you could be like, you could defend that, I think, is what I'm trying to get at. Because it really is like a very, very, very good situation. But, dude, did you see the amount of keys we picked up in, like, one room? Okay, I mean, sure. What is this? I feel like it's actually sort of great. We have Jacob's Ladder. Our damage is still good. Now we've got infinite range. We still have, the Goat Head, obviously. Not Goat Head, sorry. We still have the Curved Horn. Not that dissimilar, actually. At least they seem to come from the same beast. Don't ever let people lead you to believe I ain't done anything for you. You know, this is... Ooh, just give me the guppy payout. Come on. We're taking everything here. But I don't think this is that much worse. Now, I do see Curse of the Tower. I don't like it. So we're going to endeavor to not get hit. I always think that I have Holy Mantle, by the way. When I see Jacob's Ladder on a reroll, I'm like, oh, sick, Holy Mantle. And then I'm like, oh, it's not Holy Mantle. But then I'm like, oh, it's Jacob's Ladder. But we seem to be rerolling into a lot of Jacob's Ladders. Oh, it is Sad Bombs. We seem to be rerolling into a lot of Jacob's Ladders that, like, do nothing for us. Similarly, Sad Bombs plus Technology is, like, not very strong. Not as strong as the average Sad Bombs, maybe, but maybe we'll make up for that with our damage stat. I will take Guillotine. Mostly because, in this case, it almost doubled our rate of fire, so... Plus the requisite damage bonus out of it as well. Again, not quite as strong, maybe, or not quite as much potential, but still very, very good. We want to get that last guppy item, which at this point is probably most likely to happen via chaos if we can get it in here, but no such luck. The Hanged Man. We're not flying anymore, so the Hanged Man actually could provide us with some value. And we don't have Midas Touch, so we don't have to worry about IV Bag. Although I would like to worry about IV Bag. We don't really have the desirability. It's got to be someone with the know-how and the elbow grease to lead us to our new land. No, not me in technology. We don't have the cognitive capacity to lead. All right, we'll do it. Depths 2 already. That's a great sign. Wouldn't mind picking up, you know, at least a half red heart, but oh, hey, you know, thanks for your concern there. I appreciate it. A piggy bank? We do. That's where the money's coming from. Also got wicked spiders, dude. How are we creating so many spiders? Is it just Juicy Sack, but they're like we're killing enemies quickly enough that they never attack enemies, so we're getting like a net positive? It seems plausible. Will we do boss rush on today's run? I will consider doing boss rush on today's run. I would prefer to just teleport out of it, but we do have the kind of, you know, damage that I think is conducive to making it happen. Empress, well, I mean, that it does help actually. Just watch out for the bombs back here. I don't know, Kane's Other Eye might be my least favorite item in the game, simply because of the reaction that I had when I opened the room. Where you're like, you know, the world is your oyster, man. It's like you got this oyster, you're gonna crack it open and get a beautiful pearl. What could it be? Oh, it could be anything. It could even be garbage, but at least remarkable garbage. And then it's... oh. And then it's Kane's Other Eye. And you're like... inside of this oyster... don't speak to me. Inside of this oyster is just a piece of paper that says, like, you won. It's not worth anything to me right now. I need something more, you know, Mr. Bombastic if I'm gonna be excited about this situation as it stands. Oh, jeez Louise. That's how you know I was really cheesed off. Oh my god, NL, are you okay? You just said, jeez Louise. Aren't you worried about what your fan base will think? You know what? Cheese and crackers to that. I'm my own man. I ignore playing the key beggar outside of the chest, or the dark room, I suppose, but out of principle. It's kind of like the bomb beggar. I don't understand why you would ever give him a bunch of keys for the chance to get, like, attack fly. Sure, if you got 70 keys, I get it. But, you know, we could get Guppy's Tail. And then we're going to get a lot more out of 70 keys via Guppy's Tail than we ever would from this unlucky so-and-so. A bummer that we don't even get to donate our money. I guess if we go to the Hush fight, we will. And we kind of have... we have a hushable run, but... oh, to be honest with you... taking a little bit of damage here. I mean, much of it was from walking on spikes like an idiot, so it's not like I can complain that much, but... I just want to make sure that... if we're going to do that, I want to make sure we're safe. That was actually... I mean, obviously it's 100% my own fault, but I was worried about, like, doing damage with our guillotine head, and probably should not have been. Oh, this is like... I mean, you'd absolutely take Incubus. There's nothing good enough. I almost feel like a sense of duty to do the boss rush because of the fact that the Incubus pickup is going to make us so strong, but there's just, like, they haven't given me a compelling reason to do so on this floor, at least. You know what? If I can say one positive thing about Nearsighted Friend, it is going to give us the ability to get the occasional Jacob's Ladder tier. Now, I don't think that's going to be worth anything at all, Basil, but it's something. Also, am just now realizing that we actually have 45 million... well, damage, yes, but 45 million familiars here. I can't believe we haven't gotten conjoined yet. But a more pressing concern is really that I can't get that second incubus to deal damage if I ever move from where the room actually starts. So we're, I wouldn't say inhibited too much by that. Like, the incubus damage is really just a bonus, but we're not quite popping off quite as much as I'd like to. You know what would be a cool item? I know modding has cooled off a little bit, but a cool item would be if you could have like a familiar smelter that gave you a familiar, and then whenever you use the spacebar item, it rolled all of those familiars' effects into your existing familiar, or into your like Mega Voltron familiar. Honestly, like, I know people become attached to their own ideas, and I'm guilty of that as well, but this is such a good idea that I'm kind of like, I'm thinking somebody must have done it already, and I'm just like remembering that it exists and taking credit. But, you know, because there are disadvantages to having a bunch of familiars. The big one is obviously, is this an XL floor? Not just a regular old womb. The big one is obviously that it's harder to aim, but imagine, you know, you had as many familiars as we did, you press the space bar, all of a sudden you got one mega familiar that does, you know, the damage of Fate's Reward, plus Brother Bobby, plus it has Rainbow Baby's random tier effects, plus it has the, you know, incubus lasers coming out at all times. You have to do some creative work there, I think, like when it comes to the damage involved, but because you can't really have it, if you got 10 familiars that all shoot a tier, you can't have it shoot 10 tiers when you press the button once. Like, it just doesn't seem to make sense. It's like more rate of fire than can exist in the game. Seems to strike at diminishing returns, perhaps, but... yeah, seems to strike at diminishing returns, of course. But, you know, think about it. Also, I don't know how it would work with things like Dark Bum, but what a concept. I could use a little mod myself, and we could all use a little change. A Triachnid, who is well and truly dusted. Mom's heals for a range upgrade we do not care about. I will say I miss the map, which was doing lovely work for us. I'm really trying to make this Guppy dream come true, because this, without exaggerating, we don't have the greatest damage of all time, although it's very good, especially with our ridiculous rate of fire, but I think we could have one of the strongest Guppy runs in recent memory if we finish the Guppy dream here. And of course we do have a good chance of completing our of getting our deal with the devil on this floor, which would be helpful. Balls of Steel is also fine, but I don't know, at the present moment we're just kind of, we're at like a 0% chance to lose. We're kind of coasting until we get that one thing that lets us pop ridiculously. We're already at 9 out of 10, but this could be a 10 out of 10 run. It just needs, I mean, it really just needs one Guppy item. It's the big thing. There's probably some other tier effects that would work as well, but the one Guppy item would really, really be helpful. It would be an easy fix. Let's put it that way. Now, I'm looking at the map and I'm saying to myself, I don't know if we're going the right way. This seems like, you know, you get like a little bit of a sense for the mapping in Isaac the more you play. And this feels like a trick to me. It's just like too good to be true that we found an area so devoid of dead ends so early. Callus is, no, we can only hold one. Callus is not really good, but it's really good when you're an idiot and you've walked over the spikes as many times as I have, so. Well, I was incorrect. That just goes to show you that's the other rule of Isaac, is like, you know, the more you play, the less you know. There's many rules. I'm going to be publishing them in a book on Amazon, then going on a tour this summer. Tickets are $75 each if you want to come see me. No script. I haven't really prepared anything. I'm just going to kind of get up there and say thank you. What do we got? The Pact. That's great. Brimstone. Okay, we've entered like full ridiculous territory now. We have anti-grav, and I did not even notice. We now have had Brimstone and Mom's Knife on the same run. And sad bombs, for that matter. Also fantastic. And yet I still, like, you know, what do you get for the man who has everything? For some reason, I find myself looking at this run and going, it could be better. But it's probably a little ridiculous. It's mostly just that anti-grav is, like, a little horrible. With Brimstone. It's not, like, ooh, is it? You know what? We probably should have been hit there, but Shoop the Whoop is so good. And I don't think we'll need the Spirit Hearts because we're, to be frank, kind of crushing it right now. I think we should take Shoop the Whoop just because it gives us burst damage instantaneously. So I want to be able to, like, more or less poop on enemies. Enemies that are stationary like these guys are, you know, they got no chance, but room like this, much happier to hit him with that burst damage. And the spiders are doing great work. It's a good time to be alive. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, this run's in a great spot. It also got weird. The reroll was fantastic, despite looking sort of not that great. It looked like we had maybe like a soy milk apocalyptic sort of thing going on, but obviously that ended up not being the case. I'm very thankful as a result. Don't spam bombs at me, please. Yeah, okay, that's too many enemies. You've done that to yourself. I just want you to know that. There was a chance that we could have lived in harmony in there, and you chose not to. You chose to mess that up. And for the rest of your life, you're going to have to live with that decision. Trying to get the portal on top of him, at which point he will just die. We got, like, kind of a half-ass speedrun going on here, but can't deny that it's got a good reason to be like that. It's another good selection of items. I'm going to reroll our stats. We got Tears Up, damage down. Totally fine. We'll take Mom's Contact. We'll also take Contagion. We'll blow this up, and we'll get Balls of Steel, Speed Up, which is good, and I'm excited, which is terrible, but that's fine. Let's kill this guy, and then dust this room as quickly as possible. 20 bombs might not seem like a lot, but when your bombs are doing what our bombs are doing, we're completely set. We also have 1 luck. Somehow that managed to pay out with an item here, which is kind of surprising to me. Oh, we have number 2 as well. How the heck did that happen? I find myself, like, off balance in commentary on this run, and it's honestly because the run is so good that I'm waiting for, like, the other shoe to drop here. But it's, you know, certainly a very merciful run. This was a run where we pretty much, I mean, from the second floor deal with the devil. Well, I'm building an inelegant moment here. Let's build it more elegantly. We had a deal with the devil that gave us 4 items, including Mom's Knife and 2 Guppy items and the ability to fly. In fact, that's just a description of all the items we got in there. And I threw it away on purpose, and then got something that was almost as good. And that's like being a professional athlete, making, like, you know, $20 million a year, and you're like, you know, I've decided it isn't for me. I'm gonna go back to school for the performing arts. And everyone's like, you're an idiot. And then they become a multi-million-dollar earning recording artist, you know? They're the genuine double threat. This run, there are 3 good runs in this run, basically. Because it changed a little bit when we picked up Brimstone as well. I don't think I would do Delirium on this fight, because I want to preserve the wonderful memory of what we have. And thankfully, we didn't even have the choice. Just an all-around good run. I hope that this is a good start to your day, or whenever you're watching it. It added a little bit of enjoyment to your day. Obviously, I'm feeling good, based on the stretch there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, where hopefully we'll be as lucky as we were here.